cruiser motorcycles. There are some awesome benefits to cruisers. However, there's always another point of view. What are some of the bad features of cruiser bikes? Let's get into them. Here's my top worst 5 points about cruiser motorcycles. The first point, guys, is the weight. Cruisers can be and generally are pretty heavy motorcycles. I'm not going to give you an exact figure on average, but in general, cruisers are generally heavier than most other motorcycle makes. That can be quite a downside to your cruiser riding experience. For example, just simple things, everyday things on your motorbike. If you're just looking for a parking space, which, let's be honest, I'm absolutely fine here, but if you wanted to park here. Now, just as an example, guys, my bike here, which is not the biggest cruiser, definitely by a long way on the market, this weighs 263 kilograms wet weight, give or take. Some cruisers, for example, the Harley-Davidson Heritage Classic, big, lovely looking cruiser, weighs 330 kilograms wet weight. That is a lot of weight for one person to be manhandling around. In some instances, I recently rode the Indian Roadmaster, huge, lovely, massive front, big touring cruiser. That weighs over 400 kilograms. That is a lot of weight to be moving around on 2 wheels. So, for demonstration purposes only, manhandling around the weight, say you're parked here, doesn't look all that bad, you know, not much can go wrong here. Some nice trees, nice peaceful lake over there. What could possibly go wrong with the bike? So I want to get it out of here. Now, look, it's doable, it's pretty easy if you can manoeuvre bikes around, and this is a light one, bear in mind, but there's a few things to take in mind. There's an incline going down here, wet leaves all over the ground, also it's muddy. It's just little things like that with cruisers. If you're capable of manoeuvring bikes around, it's not that much of a problem. I say as I'm probably just about to drop the bike. That would be pretty embarrassing, but yeah. Oh, it's not the easiest thing to manoeuvre cruisers around. They can be heavy beasts, especially with added extras like these engine protection bars, highway foot pegs, etc. Definitely something to bear in mind. Next up, handling. Cruisers are not renowned for the sharpest handling motorcycle. There's a few reasons to that. First off, tying into the first point, the weight of the bike. Weight is so important when it comes to handling and performance of a motorbike, and for any vehicle for that matter. And being naturally bulky machines, that's not ideal for handling. Along with some other features, the riding position generally of cruisers, generally this is not the best example, I've got sort of mid to forward foot controls, but forward foot controls are really not conducive to a sharp handling motorcycle. You want your feet beneath you, more of a length forward riding position. Cruisers, you got your forward controls, very relaxing, sat back, arms nice stretched out forward, relaxing, words in the name, the giveaways in the name, cruising style riding position, not conducive to a good handling motorcycle. A few other features of cruisers that may contribute to poorer handling, shall we say, less nimble handling. Cruisers generally tend to have quite a long wheelbase. Now, a long wheelbase is not the best for nimble, sportier riding. It takes longer for the bike to turn into a corner and to change direction. On top of that, the rake on the front wheel, the angle at which the front wheel's angled. Cruisers generally have a larger angle with that rake on the front wheel. It makes the bike nice and stable at faster speeds and cruising, straight line speed, but when you're coming into a corner, it's not the best riding dynamics and setup for cornering on a motorcycle. You want to be more over that front end, feel where the front end's at on the bike. That can contribute to poorer handling cruiser as well. And coming on to point number 3, be ready to get your wallet out. The average price of a cruiser, again, is a fair bit more than any other motorcycle brand. Unless you're talking real high-end sports bikes, then they can get up there in price as well. But cruisers in general, yeah, they're expensive bikes. Speedmaster I'm on at the moment is near enough around £12,500–13,000. That's not crazy. you get up to the big guys. Harley Davidson Road King, for example, it's over £22,000 motorcycle before you've spec'd anything on it, which, trust me, with cruisers you're going to want to spec some things on. New pipes, highway bars, possibly some new grips. Always want to spec cruisers. On that, move on to the Indian Super Chief Limited, just over £20,000 base model. BMW R18, now this is beginning to start to sound like a bit of a bargain. Just over £17,000. That's a beautiful cruiser. Cruisers can be very expensive, especially with the customizing and when you want to make it look your own, which I find with cruisers you do a lot. They tend to be customized a lot. That adds on a fair few thousand extra as well. So yeah, point 3, they're pricey bikes. On to point number 4. Now, for some people this won't be, I suppose all of the points, for some people they won't be negatives, but number 4 is horsepower. High-end horsepower. That is not what cruisers are about. If you're after a fast motorcycle and you think, oh, look at that cruiser, it's got a 1.5 litre engine in it. It'll be quick, but it's the torque. Cruisers have torque, so they have that pulling power like a tractor, that low down, lovely to use, nice to cruise with, relaxed, lazy style. However, they don't have that higher end horsepower. For example, you start getting above 5,000 RPM on this Triumph Speedmaster, you're going to be seriously wanting to change up a gear. There's nothing above that, so you're not going to be having exciting speed setting your hair on fire. It's all about the low end torque. So the Triumph Speedmaster has 76 brake horsepower. In the real world, that's plenty of horsepower. Some Harley Davidsons, well, most Harley Davidsons, Harley actually don't give you the horsepower figure, they only give you the torque figure. I'm guessing that's because the horsepower figure won't really impress that many people. It's a fair bit lower than any other bikes. If you're coming from any other bike of a sizable CC engine, the horsepower figure is most likely going to be a fair bit more than on a cruiser. That is where your riding style and your interests lie. If you want high-end revvy engine, stay away from cruisers. And coming on to point number 5, last but not least. 2 points in one: practicality and maintenance. Look at all of the chrome. Although it may be beautiful and I love it, that is a lot to maintain. There's a lot of nooks and crannies in there. Cleaning takes a long time. It's well worth it when it's cleaned up, but yeah, it takes a lot to maintain it, especially during the winter. A nice, I actually use a product called ACF 50, really good, keeps it nice and clean. But cruisers in general have lots of nooks and crannies, lots of alloys and metals as well that do need better taken care of, let's say, rather than sort of plastics on other motorcycles that fare better out in different weather conditions. Practicality ties in with sort of few of the other points: weight, maintenance, the size, the price of it. All of these points tie into how practical really is it if you're using it as an everyday machine. If you have a nice garage, nice place you can keep it during the winter, nice safe place to lock it away, not too much of a problem. But if this is your commuting one motorcycle, perhaps a cruiser might not be the best, most practical bike for you. Depends on how much your heart wants it. I wanted this. I'm willing to put up with the impractical size of it because I love it and it's won my heart over. Another one, luggage. Okay, you can get plenty of luggage storage on cruisers, it's not a problem. However, the bigger the luggage, the heavier the bike becomes, and the bigger the bike becomes as well, so less practical again. Having said all of that, I absolutely love cruisers. It just depends on your needs and wants from your motorcycle. Yes, there are bad points to cruisers, 100%, but it depends how you perceive them. If you want your bike to be sporty, the best handling bike, cruiser's probably not for you. If you want to see a slightly more positive video about cruisers, check out this video right at the end of the video here on the screen. My top 5 points of why you should ride a cruiser. A bit more positivity for you. Many thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you enjoyed the vid. I'll see you in the next one.